good afternoon. Whenever you're listening to this, welcome to the internet's most sophisticated wrestling podcast, discussing the weekly aspects of it all, right here on
The Bald Monkeys Wrestling Podcast.
All right.
Chris, are you keeping your thing there?
I'm not here. Don't worry about it. I am just a voice in the sky. Hello, everyone.
Of course you're here. You know why? You know why you're here? Actually, we won't get quite into it yet, but for reasons, I need you to be here so that we can yell at you. Okay? Understood?
Understood.
Wow. So you are definitely here. But because this podcast / live stream is based on entrance music, I feel it incumbent upon me to start with some tragic news and to mourn the loss of something very near and dear to some people, me included, and at least one person in our chat that's here. And that is to talk about NXT for just 1 second. A long time ago, there was a theme song, and it was the dream of a theme song. It was a little bit creepy. Yes, maybe it sounded a little bit too much like Stranger Things, but it really fit the wrestler really well. And it was a wrestler who never blinked. He doesn't have eyelids. He just stares all the time. And that is Dexter Lumis. And this past NXT, WWE did the most ridiculous thing ever when they killed that theme song and they gave him a new theme song. So I would just like to have a moment of silence for the original awesome Dexter Lumis theme song. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Pour one out for the...
One for my homies.
Pour one out for the homies. Absolutely. So, gentlemen, how are we doing this morning? We got a couple.
I'm alive.
JC Vega. We have JC Vega here. You know, we had to get JC Vega on because he was the one who tweeted out, and I want to say exactly what he tweeted out, but he tweeted out a song that as a kid he wanted as his entrance music, and I saw it and I was like, you know what? I've wanted to do this topic forever. Let's talk about entrance music. Let's get JC Vega in here to talk about entrance music. So, welcome to Monkeying Around. Welcome to the Bald Monkeys live stream. It is good to have you here today, sir.
Thank you for having the champion of Elevate Pro, the only one that matters. I'm excited to talk about this music topic.
Here's my only issue, though. Here's my only issue, because this is what happened before we started live streaming. You made the mistake of jumping on the bandwagon with the other double stuffers. So I don't know if I have respect for you as a champion, sir.
Oh, sir, I'm a champion. Double stuffed, right. Trust me, I'm a champ. Why wouldn't I be right? I have gold. What do you have, sir?
I have an odd body because I eat too many single stuff Oreos.
You'd have a more round, proportionate body if you would eat double stuffed. Possibly, maybe.
Maybe. Is Chuck? I think Chuck's got the 1,000-yard stare, so I think he's gone again.
Is he all right there?
This is good.
Christopher, do me a favor. Don't be the guy in the sky. Who cares if we have 5 people? Jump on here.
Yeah, so the issue with that is Streamlabs doesn't let me turn my video back on after I've turned Streamlabs on.
Oh my gosh, you're the worst. All right.
So, have fun editing, Big Baby Jimmy.
Okay.
Technical difficulties.
Creamy K, how are you doing this morning, sir?
I'm doing wonderful.
That's
Pretty
it.
excited about.
Wonderful.
Let me finish, man. Why you guys saying my shit?
Man, speak.
I know, right? Seriously. No, I'm wonderful. I'm pretty excited about this entrance music podcast today. It's definitely something that I've been thinking about for a while. And, you know, always as a kid, you know, you hear those things that sit with you. You hear certain entrance music, and you know, you just get like goosebumps and chills when you hear it. So this is going to be exciting today.
It's been a while since I've gotten chills. Actually, that's not true. I would say the number one ranked one for me still kind of works, even though I can't stand the fucking wrestler. All right, so I guess let's jump into it. We'll sit here. The first thing I want to talk about is I kind of want to talk about that top 3 ranking, that top 3 wrestling songs that really do it for you. And I want you, I'm not sure if you guys have them in a particular ranking, but if you do have them in a 3, 2, 1, let's start with the bottom one and leave the last one, the top one for last. And we'll just, I'll start with you, Creamy, okay?
So you want my?
I want your I don't want your 3, 2, 1. I want your 3.
Okay, my 3 is Finn Balor's Demon entrance.
And why? Why does that theme hit you so hard, you think?
I think because it's got the mix that you have the heartbeat in the beginning, and it progressively gets quicker and quicker and quicker, and then it hits into his, I guess, normal entrance music, if you will. And the theatrics behind it is also what gets me going.
So we're talking specifically about the Demon.
Yes, yep.
So this was an interesting thing because as I was going through music last night and listening to wrestling music, and the one thing I've noticed about independent wrestling, which is absolutely wonderful, is that a lot of times when wrestlers come out, they can use like songs with really long intros, and they can kind of just sit in the back and not do anything, and just kind of like, I can tell like based on the music that they're sitting back there and they're like, okay, I'm waiting for the drop. I'm waiting for the drop. I'm waiting for the drop. And then, you know, you come out all theatrically. What is that? Would I be correct in that assertion, JC?
Yes, 100%. It's like getting ready to go. It's like, all right, here it comes. So,
Yeah, and the thing that's the issue, I think, with trying to get the right music in a promotion, like a larger promotion, like a WWE or an AEW or an Impact or something like that, is it's all like time. Like we have to keep things moving. And so there's lots of songs that just kind of just jump into it, or the build is like so short and it just goes so that we can get this person out there right away. You know, you think of, gosh, I don't want to talk about any theme that somebody has on their list. We think about, I don't know, like The Rock or something like that. I don't think any of us have The Rock's theme listed down. So, you know, the build is just, if you smell, you know, that's it. You know, really a little bit of drums and then boom, right into it. Like, so really, really paced, really, really fast. But the Demons, that's an interesting one because that one isn't like that. It takes a little while to get into that theme song with the.
But I still think it has a hook, right? Like just like any good song, there's a hook. But except with theme songs, the hook isn't in the middle. The hook isn't the chorus. It's the opening.
yeah.
Is that the hook? I mean, it's.
I think so.
I mean, it gets you excited. It's
Like
like
the initial sound, man, it grabs you.
yeah.
The breaking glass.
Okay.
The someone yelling out, like, yeah, those moments of like, I know who's coming.
Yeah, I'm going. Okay, I'll agree with you because the problem is the music side of my brain hears the word hook and I define it differently from the way that you guys are using hook. So yes, the way that you guys are using hook, absolutely, I agree.
That sounds like a single stuffed Oreo argument.
What?
You know what? Can we just forget about music and just have this double stuffed, single stuffed debate? Like we can go on for hours on that.
Well, that's not the topic of the podcast today, but that will happen before the end of the stream. It will, even if I have to 1v4 all your candy asses, or double stuffed asses, I guess. In that.
Wow.
Shut up, Chuck.
The champ is always right.
Why don't you have a 1,000 yard stare in your schmedium shirt? Okay.
What? I just wish that my internet would just continually work. You know, it's
You know what
9
my
o'clock in the morning, and there's not a lot of people up in my neighborhood. I already walked the dog. There's no one on. There's no reason that like I go from 1 minute having 350 megabits to 0, and it just shutting down. But anyway, enough about my trials and tribulations.
You know, it might help doing the chuckle shuffle. That might help.
I don't even know if I have it in me this morning.
All right. Well, we'll give you some time. Does anybody else, JC or Chuck or Chris, do you have any thoughts about the Finn Balor, the demon Finn Balor entrance music?
I do like the build up, like the creepiest sound effects, the demonic reverse recording voices going on in the background. I appreciate the build up before the actual music plays. So I like the ambiance that it sets. But no, it's a perfect thing for that character.
Yeah. I think that's its own little genre too. Like some people are really drawn to like creepy theme music. I know I have a hard time pulling myself away from it sometimes because one that I didn't put on the list but I absolutely loved growing up was like Kane's original music.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I had that. The Finger 11 one.
No,
The
original, the burn
Okay,
one, the very
yeah.
first one. Yeah, the one that was
That's
just.
gotta be Kane.
Yeah, that's gotta be Kane. Who's that with Paul Bearer?
It does have that very Halloween thing, feel to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I had the Finger 11 song on my list, and I had to take it off.
Yeah.
So you know
what's interesting about the Finn Balor it's not just the music. I think it's the lights, it's the production.
It's the whole show.
Because if you listen to the music by itself, it's kind of drink. It's good, but the production, the lights, and everything that goes through, and his just acting ability as he's crawling into the ring or carrying out a chainsaw or something crazy, that's what really makes it an amazing entrance.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
So let's rotate to somebody else. Let's go to JC Vega. JC Vega, what of the 3 songs, what would you consider to be your number 3 song?
Oh, it's hard to. That's the ones I have. Okay, I guess for this one, I'll say the NWO's music. For me, like, it's this cool, like almost too cool for school kind of feel to it for me, and it's iconic, and like everybody knows like who's coming out with that when that music hits. It just has that level of not street vibe. What's the word I'm looking for here? Yeah, just cool. We'll just go with that. It's just cool, man. How could you not like it? Like it's got
absolutely.
it samples Jimi Hendrix in there, like 3 different Jimi Hendrix songs. Like you can't go wrong with Jimi Hendrix being sampled. It's the NWO.
I think the interesting thing about that song is, when we were listening to music last night and we were talking about the NWO song, me and my friend Sarah, like without the context, without knowing the NWO, when you go and listen to the theme song, I don't know that it works as well. So like she's definitely listening to it one way, and I, knowing the NWO, I'm like, oh man, yeah, this
right, yeah.
Let's go. Like,
Jimmy, why are you listening to this porno music all of a sudden? No, it's not what it is. I promise. I always love that too, especially like Nash and Hall always said that's what it sounded like to them. Like I noticed watching back like '96 when they're coming out to it, they're doing those little stupid ass jigs. But yeah, I guess in that sense. But for me, like knowing the NWO and being like a mark for the New World Order, like for me, that's just chef's kiss, sir.
Yeah. So you weren't very pro Sting
No, not at all.
Oh,
Let me tell you
man.
this. I was probably the one guy in the world when Goldberg beat Hogan who was fucking pissed. Just sitting there watching, just like,
Golly day. You listen, it is a celebration anytime Hulk Hogan loses anything ever.
well, sure, in hindsight, maybe now, but pre-racial Gawker.
Oh no. No, I will listen. Let's draw the line in the sand. I'm talking pre that too. Like I can't stand Hulk. Anybody that can beat somebody with a leg drop, it's like, what is this? Like, this is the worst move in the history of wrestling, possibly.
Brother, he's got quads the size of tables. Do you really think you can withstand a leg drop, sir?
Now we're going back to the worst move ever. Oh, geez.
Oh, geez.
It's a different podcast.
Like,
Different
we're mixing
podcast.
it 3 topics in one. I like it.
What do you other boys think about NWO theme song? Love it, hate it?
I like it. I mean, you as a wrestling fan, as soon as it hits, you know what faction is coming out. And I think that for me is like one of those things, like as soon as that first note drops, I know who's walking out of that curtain, and that it makes that it's so identifiable that there's no doubt in my mind what's going to happen next.
And I think that's super important with all wrestling themes.
Yeah.
Right.
that initial, because the second that music hits, you want that pop, like the person I've been waiting for is coming out.
You don't want to have the thing,
boo, screw this
Yeah.
guy is coming out.
You don't want to have the thing that happens at like rock concerts or music concerts where like the band starts to play like the first like 5 measures of the song, and you're sitting there and you already know what it is, and you're like, yeah, and then all of a sudden everyone else in the crowd is like, oh, I know that song.
Yeah, I've been that person a few too many times. Not the second person, the first person, where I'm like, oh, you guys obviously don't listen to this band. Come on. What do you think, Cream McKay?
I agree. I mean, it's an iconic song. You hear the first couple of notes and boom, you already know it's the NWO. But the thing for me is that anytime I hear it start, I have this visual that pops into my head immediately of Hogan, Nash, and Hall coming out. And Hogan's got his belt and he's like strumming it like a guitar, strutting out. That's just immediately what pops into my head. He's got the NWO on the belt. So I have that visual, and it's one of those, like, I relate it immediately to that.
I just wish that there was, like, instead of like it just, always going into that song the way that it does, like it would. I used to love the promos where it was like, shh, this message is brought to you by the NW. Like, I wish that. Yeah. I wish that the theme song would start that way every single time too, just because that's the iconic thing that I like the most.
Funny enough, when I was making the Spotify playlist for all of us, there is a theme song on Spotify that has that as the beginning.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
Love it. What do you think? Voice in the sky. Voice in the sky. Voice in the sky.
It's funny because you guys actually all kind of look around when I start talking too, which is even more hilarious to me.
We don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah, I agree. Like, loved the NWO when it first came on, and it was first the big thing in WCW. What's weird to me, remembering back, I got really tired of it later on in the WCW years, where it almost was like annoying. Like when the music hit, I would be like almost getting that heel heat for it because it was just so bad to the point of it was a mess. Everybody was in the NWO. Was there anybody left that wasn't in the NWO anymore? So,
but that was kind of a good thing.
I don't know. I think
it
told the line. I think it told the line.
Haven't we talked about that in podcasts before? Where I was like, there are times when factions get so big that they're half of the people in the promotion. And if you're setting it up as like that half versus the half, that can be kind of an interesting way of doing a storyline.
Yeah, I agree. Like, in the context of that, like, having those many members, if you're going to make it a separate entity like as they were planning to do it like in a whole show, yeah. But like for me, like the core, like Hall, Nash, Hogan, Six, maybe Buff. We'll throw Buff in there. But like a small group, the small core is for me is a better iteration of the NWO.
Sure.
But
so how about Voice in the Sky? What is your ranked number 3? God, I don't even know how to say this properly every single time I intro it. Your songs, what's number 3? Oh.
It's just fun to watch you like squirm there.
You're lucky that you can squirm off camera. How about that?
I'm working on it. I think I might come on just to mess up with your editing.
No, I got that all covered when my internet goes out again.
Yeah, no shit.
So you guys obviously know I'm a big geek when it comes to a wrestler that I love, and the Hurricane Helms is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and I will geek out anytime I hear "Stand back! There's a hurricane coming through." As you know, because I did it at the Royal Rumble when I jumped up and down and held Jimmy's hand because I was so excited.
Like a little kid.
This is accurate. He was jumping up and down, losing his mind. That being said, this is the first theme song that I personally am like, well, I like the Hurricane and everything. His song isn't that great, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's okay.
But are you looking at it as a song, or are you looking at it as an entrance music?
I'm like entrance music, of course. I mean, again, you can look at anybody's and say, well, this is passable entrance music, but I'm saying that's my problem with that theme song. It's passable entrance music. The beginning is the best part, obviously, but like, I don't know.
Okay, well, I am going to save my argument for later, and Captain knows what my argument is going to be.
Don't worry. I hate you.
Yes. I ruined a song for him. But
really
anyway,
has.
I think, again, it goes back to that hook. I know that's the wrong word for it, but I'm going to call it hook for now. That punch of that first note of "stand back." And that's why it's a great entrance song, because it gets everyone out of their seats because you know what's coming next.
Yeah.
You know what's about to happen. And to me, that's why it's always been a great entrance song for me. And I think other people would agree that love Double Stuffed Oreos.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but if they agree so much with you, why wasn't the Hurricane theme on their list?
Because it was on my list, and they all knew it was going to be on my list.
That doesn't mean anything. There was a song that was on 3 or 4 of our lists.
That is also true.
Because that is the number 1 song by far.
Well,
and
yeah,
we'll get to
I
it.
agree.
We'll get to it. Don't
Yeah.
jump the shark. But like, we're just dealing with the fact that the Hurricane theme makes sense as a entrance song for a wrestler, and it works.
Yeah, all of them do. All the ones that people listed do. They're all wrestling themed.
I don't know.
Don't know. So there is an entrance theme that does not make sense on one of these guys' list. Is that what you're saying? It's Chuck.
I am going to make a hot take on a entrance theme that has been put on the list, and we're gonna have a big discussion about it. Let's just put it that way.
Okay. All right. Who hasn't gone yet? Chuckles.
Yep.
You're third. You're third, sir.
My third, because Christopher completely ruined it, as he was talking to me the other night, is the Legion of Doom, Road Warriors. What a Rush. He's completely ruined it for me. I even thought about taking it off of the list because of what he pointed out to me. It's so annoying that he even pointed it out to me that literally after the intro of "What a Rush," it just repeats itself over and over and over again. And to be honest with you, I'm fine with it. I'm still fine with it. I'm so annoyed that he pointed it out to me because I never even I didn't even think about it. I never even heard it because it goes back to like what we kind of touched on with Finn Balor was I loved the tag team so much, and I loved when they came out. I loved the look. I loved the intro to it, the first like 3-4 seconds, that it was just so good that I didn't even really care at that point what happened after it. And like, yeah, it's probably the same 6 to 7, 8 measures over and over and over again, but I don't care. Like sometimes, you know, sometimes theme music is just the, you know, the same thing reiterated over and over again. I mean, it doesn't have to be this epic, you know, 3-minute entrance that it's got its crescendo and its denouement and its conclusion and
Whoa,
you know,
whoa, big words.
I know, big
Fancy
words. I don't need to be taken on I don't need to be taken on a journey. Like I just want to like enjoy the song and like get pumped by it. And that's what, you know, that's what that song did for me, you know, as a kid in the 80s and early 90s. So Christopher, screw you and your damn opinion.
Why don't you just like throw the hurricane theme back in his face?
I mean,
it's not that. I mean, it's not that interesting either. It's pretty repetitive.
Oh yeah, that's true. Look at that.
So it's the same thing. He's like trying to ruin one of your songs. All you got to do is it's the exact same thing. It's like a really cool opening with just like,
You're the only Hurricane fan, man.
I have a towel.
He's not the only Hurricane fan.
I have a towel.
But that would be my third.
Anybody else have any thoughts on the Road Warriors? It was also on
Steven's list.
Steven's list, absolutely. So we will mention that. We'll mention all of his songs.
Yep.
Probably don't have time to talk about all of these songs, but
No.
I guess
Badass song, man. Like, come on. You don't get excited when you hear that. Ooh, what a rush! Like,
Take it
I don't
out.
care if it repeats. Like, it's fucking
up,
awesome.
Take it out. Clip it. You know, crop that beginning out, and then listen to the song. That's what I made Chuck do, and that's why he looks like a sad bear right now.
I'm still okay with it. You're
He
not
just-
taking my joy away, you bastard.
he just talked himself into loving it again
I did.
on stream.
But the guitar riff itself is just badass. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean,
It is.
again, you listen to wrestling themes of a certain era, and there's really not much to them. So, you know, I mean, depending, but like there's definitely a few notable songs that we're not sitting here singing the praises of because they're kind of just. So the one that I have listed as like on the list is 3 is not actually 3. My 2 is 3. So my 2 I have listed as Battle Cry by Kenny Omega, and that's his new theme song in AEW. I was surprised that I went with such a newer theme song, but I don't know if it's just because like you know, it's something to do with knowing Kenny Omega's character and knowing him as kind of like even the intro can kind of feel a little video gamey in a way, and I kind of enjoy that, you know, because knowing who he is and stuff like that. I don't know. It was almost the Kane theme. It was this close. It was this close to the original Kane theme. This close. But I decided to give Kenny Omega a little love and Battle Cry. Don't know what you guys think about. Don't know what you guys think about that song.
I mean, I think it. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead, JC.
No, I was just gonna say, I think it, like, even if you don't know Kenny Omega, it kind of encapsulates who Kenny Omega is, like, as a person and as a wrestler, with the whole video game nod and all that. So I think it works well. It's tremendous. I was surprised it was on your list, considering that's such a new song, but it's a great theme.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that, and maybe this is, I'm guilty of what Chris did to Chuck, only I do it to myself. I go back and listen to these theme songs and I'm like, God, this song fucking sucks. Like, it's really not that good. And I'm just like cutting through songs and just like, you know, there's a handful of like songs like, and there were some that I was, it's interesting. Okay, let me, this is sending me off on a tangent and I want to cover it real quick. It's interesting when you talked about the NWO and being like so for the NWO, because one thing that I was that not a lot of people was very anti Stone Cold Steve Austin when I was a kid. I couldn't stand Stone Cold Steve Austin every single time he came out. I don't know if I was just growing up in a world where I wanted to be like an authority figure, and I'm like, he's always breaking the rules. Get him out of here. but like,
too.
yeah, exactly. So like, you know, his theme song to this day, I still listen to it, and I just go, you know, I got a lot of respect for Stone Cold Steve Austin, and retrospectively, I really like him a lot, but like, not as much as, you know, I kind of like Triple H, even when he was a bad guy. I was like a big Triple H fan. Like he was pretty awesome, you know, and those interactions that he used to have with The Rock back in the day. And you talk about heels. I was always a big Kurt Angle fan, and you know, his music's pretty simple. You talk about music that just repeats and that's pretty simple. I mean, Kurt Angle, but is one of my dudes too, man. That guy was awesome. But back on track. So let's flip to it. Go back to the Creamy K. Creamy K, what is your number 2 theme song, sir?
Great segue, because you're just talking about Austin. Number 2 for me would be Austin. You hear that glass shatter. Hey, that's fine.
No, it's a great theme song. I'm sorry. I just going back to what I was talking about.
It goes back to what everyone is saying, that you hear the glass shatter and immediately you know who it is, and you know it doesn't matter if he was a heel or a good guy. As soon as you hear that, you know shit's going down. You know he's coming out. Someone's gonna get a can of whoop ass, and it's just one of those that I hear and I'm just like, yes, Stone Cold, go kick ass.
Arguably the biggest pop in WWE's history is when the glass breaks, when Mankind is getting screwed out in the middle of the ring, and then the glass breaks, and then that crowd lost their flipping minds. Like I can still watch that video of that moment, and oh yeah, man, when the glass breaks and that crowd just like you can barely hear anything. It's so loud. So yeah, iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the reason why I used a glass shattering effect like in our intro video. Like when I like way back in the beginning when I was like, man, you guys need like some kind of like music to like come into. Like it's just like boring when you're like, hey guys, how's it going? And then Chris is like, well, dude, why don't you just come up with a theme song? And I was like, okay, sounds good.
T for time for T. How many fucking episodes did we go before we had an intro? It's not like we were doing it for a long time. 4 episodes. Four episodes.
Hey, man, in the internet, that's a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. We used to sit at bars and talk about wrestling, and it was like, why don't we record this a couple of times? And it took like, here comes Chuck, Mr. Snooty Double Stuffer, going, these 4 episodes suck. You need intro music.
Man, I was just trying to help, and I mean, shit, look where it got me. I have like so much extra shit to do now.
Yeah. No good deed goes unpunished, Chuck.
Right?
No,
exactly.
right.
I should have just kept my mouth shut. Anyway, I love Austin's theme. It's one of those ones, again, from the second that first note hits, you know exactly what's going to happen. It's so iconic. I dare say it's probably the most iconic. I think if you were to play like 5 of the biggest like theme songs to someone that like kind of was a wrestling fan, I think they would know exactly who that was right off the bat, next to maybe the one that people have chosen like 3 or 4 times. But
yeah.
I don't know. That's my take.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Anybody else?
I think you said all we can on that one. It's iconic. If you know shit's gonna go down, and Raise the hell, drink beer. What?
AKA for Twitch, that's not beer. Just so
No,
you know.
sadly, this is. I mean, not sadly. It's highball. It's organic.
Good for you.
Oh, sponsor.
He's not maybe not be sponsored by Highball, but could be.
Hey, highball.
It could be.
I'm a millennial. Sponsor me.
He's a millennial.
Oreo cookies, we'd like you to sponsor us.
Yeah, please.
Taco Bell, you need to sponsor Alex Zane.
I'll take a sponsor, Taco Bell. Shit. I'll take any sponsor. Give me money. I'm a starving wrestler, man. Feed me.
Give me money. Yeah, that sounds like a millennial.
Well, speaking of wanting money, why don't you butter up another wrestler? What's your next song?
My next song is the Razor Ramon theme song. For me, it's going to be a recurring theme because obviously, it's just cool. Like the drum beat at the beginning, like the whole progression of it just sounds. It works, and it's not really like the character's not like is a Cuban drug lord, but it's not really Cuban. But it just works. It just sounds cool, and like that swagger he has when he comes out with it, gold, the vest, and all that. Like I love it. Like it's one of the theme songs I will play. It's in my workout playlist too. So like I just love the theme. It's very near and dear because Razor Ramon is one of my first visuals of wrestling as a small child. So gotta put it on my list there.
Yeah.
I love the theme song, but it's interesting because when I look back at Razor Ramon / Scott Hall, man. But again, I wasn't like you. I wasn't very pro NWO. I hated the NWO. I was very like pro Sting, like kick their ass. Like
we're already seeing there's fault in your logic because you're a single stuff guy, and then you don't like the NWO. Who like revolutionized the business, but I will respect your opinion.
I think everybody on the podcast unanimously thought that if we actually bring wrestlers onto this podcast, me and them are going to scream at each other all the time because I'm very opinionated. So
I can tell, but
everybody can now see why Jimmy does not do any interviews because the wrestler would not be able to talk.
That's exactly
I
why
would have left.
it wouldn't have even gotten to Brittany like messing it up and
purpose.
Elevate Pro.
I just nope, can't do it. Are you pro Brittany? Is that what it is? Are you pro Brittany, sir?
Am I pro Brittany? I mean, for the case of this argument, sure. Hi, Brittany. Very pro
like
you
too.
Whoa.
Hey, listen, I love every single one of our guests that we have on equally.
I like how he said guest. He didn't say podcast like companions.
Podcast companions.
because Chuck hates Wikipedia.
He stole his thunder.
Yeah, exactly.
I did. He did. I was out with internet issues on and off for one day, and then all of a sudden Wikipedia came in.
What do you guys think of Razor Ramon's theme song?
I like the screeching tires at the beginning. It's like we're gonna say this the rest of the episode. It's that immediate thing you hear and you right away know who it is. So you hear those tires screeching and you're like, sweet, it's Razor Ramon or Scott Hall. But the one thing to go with Chris's logic is that it repeats about halfway through. So doesn't change my opinion of it. I still like it, but it's wrestling music from that era. You definitely had things that were on loop.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, look at my favorite wrestler, the Ultimate Warrior. That is like a 15-second loop going constantly.
I was amazed that wasn't on the list. I was like,
agree.
He likes the Ultimate Warrior so much. How did it not make the list?
I was trying to be I was trying not to just go with what my favorite wrestler was. I was trying to go with like, okay, fine. So my honorable mention is Ultimate Warrior.
Good.
There
You
you
know,
go.
comes in.
Plug it.
Yeah, there you go.
Do
But
Strixity.
yeah. So what?
I said do Strixity. I don't know. I was just throwing in a random line there. It was a
Okay.
warriorism.
Nonsense is warriorisms.
You have a New York Jets cup? You drinking out of a New York Jets cup right now? Who is a
I saw
fan
it
of the
earlier.
New
I
York
wasn't going to
Jets?
say anything.
Who is a fan of the New York Jets? Let's be honest.
Mike.
No, okay. You're also an
I've-
Islanders fan, so you don't have very good logic there either.
Hey, sports.
I'm
They
sorry.
won
They
yesterday.
They won yesterday. They're in the playoffs. That's
Yeah.
so. You know, I guess they're terrible, right, Jimmy?
Listen,
Jets are. I'll give you that. Islanders not. No.
Oh man.
go Devils.
As long as we all agree that the Blackhawks are going to win the Stanley Cup, that's fine.
Yeah, they got a shot. I've always been a Blackhawks fan, and even way back in the day with Ed Belfour as their goalie. That's my guy.
Hockey. Yeah.
Wow.
Christopher,
Music.
eye in the sky.
Now
What's
I'm
your
an
number
eye?
two? What's
Am I
your
an eye or a voice?
Oh, eye in the sky.
Should I make a helicopter noise up here?
What is your second?
My second, so the number 2 on my list of 3, because Jimmy does a terrible job describing this, is the Heartbreak Kid Sexy Boy. Because 1, I am an all-time fan of the Heartbreak Kid, and 2, it was just a great theme song. It was fun, especially when Sensational Sherry was the one singing it for that time being, when it wasn't the the good singer. It was Sensational Sherry doing the terrible singing with the entrance song.
Yeah.
Another one that's fully iconic, you know. Golly day, but that's another wrestler it's interesting that I have this kind of mental block for him and how good of a wrestler he was when I was a kid, especially because I just didn't like him. I didn't like Shawn Michaels.
Well, he just played his character so perfectly. And
No, he's great.
I mean, whether it be a face, as the boyhood dream, whether it be a heel as the member of DX or feuding with Diesel or Sid or anybody that he had a valet with at the time. I mean, Shawn just knew how to play the crowd perfectly. And then his music, again, we go back to those first few beats in the music. You knew Shawn was coming out, and you either felt heat for him because he was a bad guy at the time, or you popped like crazy and jumped out of your seat because here comes the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
It's true.
I guess I was very pro Bret the Hitman Hart.
I was about to ask.
You go against the grain on everybody, Jimmy, don't you?
But that's not against wait a second.
Well,
People love
no,
Bret the
yeah.
Hitman
I'm
Hart.
kidding,
That's
I'm
not that
kidding.
against the grain.
It was
The-
a 50-50 split.
The Steve
Yeah.
Austin one was against the grain for sure. That one was just, but that was just a weird kid thing. I don't know. I was like, I'm sure if I watched.
I'll second you on that. Sorry, I keep stepping on you. My bad.
No worries, no worries.
Everyone steps on him because he never stops talking.
Even though
This
you're
is-
not, even though you are wrong on every count, almost half the time. 60% of the time, you're wrong every time. It's Steiner math. It works out.
Math does.
Math, yeah.
Chuckles.
Math.
Chuckles, my second one.
What you got? What you got for us, bud?
I'm sticking with tag team wrestling,
Oh God, this one.
and I'm going with I don't care. And I'm going with another 80s tag team, and that is Demolition. I love their theme song. I just love the like back and forth of like the cool little riff it's got with like the terrible lyrics of like here comes the axe and here comes the smasher, like telling everybody who's coming to the ring to kick their ass. It's a fun theme song, and like I mean, I know like most of like my first two right here are back from the 80s. And I'm not saying that like nothing that came out later on is good, because there's so much good stuff. But I mean, these were two of my favorite tag teams, like as a kid, and me like being, more, into rock music, as a kid, like both of the themes just kind of fit what I enjoyed listening to and everything. So, and I mean, both the tag teams are like, they're bad guys, for most of the time, like they're heels. Everybody like everybody either hates them or loves them. Like they're just, it just spoke to me. It was the beginnings of me being a bad kid, and I love it.
Was it their outfits, Chuck?
Legion of Doom, hell yes. Give me some shoulder pads with some spikes, and I'm there. However, the S&M Demolition, looking on it at this point in time,
we're not talking about this point in time. We're talking about back then.
I didn't know what S&M was back then, so for me it was cool. But
God, give that picture to a non-wrestling fan, and they've got some questions for you.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
hey, it's like in dodgeball when Average Joe's Gym comes out in the leather and chains and stuff, and everyone's like, what?
Do you think that's how Demolition got their outfits? That they got the wrong package in the back?
That if that is true, that would be amazing.
And they just stuck with it.
Let's just start that rumor right now.
Yes.
Okay.
I just put it on the internet. If it's on the internet, it means it's real.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Absolutely.
How about this one? Vince ordered something else, and he got that. And he was like, "God damn, pal, give us the Demolition.
This'll work.
Oh.
It's such good shit."
But that's my number two.
Just to throw it out there, Steven's number two, the boss's number two, was Mark Henry's "Somebody's Gonna Get It," which is, I think, a cool song. It's got a cool vibe to it.
My name, I didn't even remember it. I had to like go listen to it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that happened."
Yep. My number two, I went with one of those early family themes for Bray Wyatt, "Live in Fear." And what I love about this theme song is that the payoff, that pop, really was always typically that video, like the video package or the backstage, where suddenly you see the lantern and you see him go and light the lantern and like, "We're here," and then the blow, and then like everybody's already popping at that point, and then the theme song is just like kind of all ambiance, like it's just like setting. It's just like it never gets too crazy. It's just like nice,
Same thing over and over again.
Creepy, but that's fine.
I know.
That's most music, though.
But it's that. I mean, really, it is most music, right?
It's true.
So it's damn true. But it's just that whole creepy thing, and it just kind of like, right, it just fits the characters so well, you know. And there was an argument to be made when I was thinking about this, about like the Fiend's version of this music, which I think is really cool, but I don't know if it does it for me as much as the original. Like the original really sets the tone.
I'll agree with that. Like,
Yeah.
For me, like that original theme, especially at WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans, like that was a cool like experience. It was creepy as fuck. Like the dudes playing the instruments out there with the plague mask, and just the sound, like the whole, yeah, like it creates that creepy aura, like catching flies in my mouth. Like what are we talking about? Why is this creepy man speaking to me?
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, I concur for once with you.
Yeah, we
You guys are on the same
agree on
page.
something.
Whoa.
At least single stuffs and double stuffs can come together on the opinion that mega stuff is just not meant to exist in this world. Why do mega stuffs exist? Get him out of here. Anybody else have anything to say on Bray before we move right along?
Another one where it's like not only the music, but everything else that goes along with it that makes it an amazing entrance song.
Everybody's cell phone lights on,
All
lighting
cell
up the
phone lights
arena.
on. Yeah, and that's something I don't think if you're not there, you don't realize how crazy it is that everyone's got their cell phone light on and it's literally lit in the arena. You don't see it from home because from home it looks dark and all you see is the dots of the fireflies. But when you're in the arena and you're holding your light up, it is like all the lights are on in the building.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the weirdest, most surreal thing to have a whole arena lit by cell phone lights. It's just odd to be in that like area where you don't understand that. I know what it looks like at home, but it doesn't look like that right now because I'm in it.
Yeah, dude, it's wild. It's and you know what's interesting is that I had really never experienced it. And one of the first show that I did experience it at, I was with Chris, who had seen it before, and he's like, wait for this, this is wild." And it was like, whoa, the lights are on. Holy crap. Like, very bright.
Yeah, it's definitely an experience.
That's when you know entrance music's working, when the crowd wants to be involved.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So let's flip to our number ones. And while I was having Creamy Kramer go first, we're going to hold off on Creamy Kramer because the problem is that of the 5 people or 6 people that responded to this, 4 of them all picked the same number 1 song. So we're going to hold that song off for just a second. And let's go to Mr. JC Vega. What you got for us?
My number 1 pick is Shinsuke Nakamura, Rising Sun. Now, I think we all said earlier, the first couple of notes, it like hooks you in. And obviously for that, especially with like the little sound wave going off, the lights are down, like the violins starting slowly, just so cool. And then like it's different because like everyone else has like drums, guitar, or like rap. His just string instruments. And it creates this cool vibe. It's still kind of rockish, but like it's definitely unique, like Shinsuke Nakamura is. And for me, I feel that song is more iconic than his New Japan theme song. For me, like when I think Shinsuke, I think that music, and I think that encompasses like him and his presentation, like totally. And it's just badass to listen to, dude. Like. Fucking like they had Lizzie Hale like do a cover of it too, so like it works so well for that unique enigmatic character that is Shinsuke.
It's a different category of theme song that I don't know that we've touched one before, where the crowd interaction is crazy because everybody, whether you like Shinsuke Nakamura or not, screams the notes of the song while it's going. And you so look forward. Like whenever you hit those themes where you have crowd interaction at all, like the crowd just goes crazy. You think of like how excited does everybody get when John Cena comes out? Because either you love John Cena or you're looking forward to saying John Cena sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And it, as everybody gets so pumped. We used to always talk about like this weird thing that would happen when Kevin Owens would come out, and that everybody would betray their feelings of Kevin Owens in like the first 2 seconds when his theme would start, because it would hit and everybody would cheer really loud, and then 2 seconds in, all those people were like, oh, wait a second, I hate Kevin Owens. Boo! Boo! Like, it's so great when you have intros like that allow you to do that. Like you pop because you're ready to sing along. I think Sami Zayn's got a little bit of that. Like, oh my gosh, I want to, sing the song along with his theme song. Oh, yeah. I mean, and I loved that you put Shinsuke's theme on the list. Because it is,
thank you.
is really good.
Yeah, and like as a performer, like shit, you know, like you makes your job so much easier when everybody's just so into it like that. You can do whatever you want, and they'll fucking pop for it because they're so into it. Like,
Shout out to Nakamura, who is named after Shinsuke Nakamura because he loves Shinsuke Nakamura so much. Hope you're doing okay, Nakamura. Your opinions are awful.
says the single stuffed guy.
If Nick was on here, you would know what I'm talking about. I don't think any of the guys are going to dispute that.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Nakamura. I'm sorry. I just made JC fall over. He's half disappeared. But I do enjoy as a musician, I do enjoy the orchestral feel to Nakamura's theme song. I do like the production of it. It's really it's nice to hear in the midst of like a lot of the other theme songs that are out there right now. It definitely seems more put together than like just your traditional, you know, rock song. It to me, like the orchestral stuff that's like that kind of tells a story better sometimes than like your pure rock, you know, theme song or something like that. And that's just my opinion from like a pure musical type of standpoint. I mean, I'm a huge Star Wars fan and I totally geek out for it. And I honestly could listen to the soundtrack music of the movie, like at any point in time, because not only because I know the movie's like inside and out, but because just the music in and of itself, I mean, it's a story from beginning to end, and it's great. And it's nice to see that, you know, WWE did that, or I don't know, like whoever created the theme. It's nice to see that they went that way with his theme, because just like JC Vega said, you know, it fits his character, you know, perfectly.
And how awesome was it when he moved up from NXT and he went on SmackDown the first time, and they actually had somebody there live to basically play for him, like when he was introduced to the SmackDown roster. It was SmackDown.
Yeah, yeah.
So awesome.
When he had Elite, like, yeah, how badass is that? You have Elite England Jr., who's actually a sponsored dude by Jordan, like the Nike brand, for like as a violinist, but like having him out there to play this dude out there, he didn't do anything except just show up. Like, I mean, that's all you really need, though, right? Come on, it's Shinsuke. Even though some people don't like the air, but that's what more can you ask?
Oh, Kramer, Voice in the Sky. Any opinions?
I don't think I have anything that hasn't already been said. You know, the crowd interaction for him is by far, for me, the best part of it. You know, whether you like him or not, you sing. So.
Well, I have a kind of a tidbit about this, because originally Bobby Roode's theme song, which is Glorious, which we all love, which is another fun one, right?
That's my fourth runner-up.
That was originally written for Shinsuke Nakamura.
Huh.
And Shinsuke passed on it. And that's why we ended up with Shinsuke getting his theme song and Bobby getting Glorious.
I think Glorious fits Bobby Roode way, way better.
Right.
Yes.
I can't picture Shinsuke coming out to that. I mean, not to ruin possible job prospects for the future, but who in the office was like, that's the one for Shinsuke. We got to play it for him.
Jimmy, why don't you ask that question? That way we protect JC a little bit. Jimmy, you ask it.
Take the heat off me, brother.
The question well, not a question, but the plug that I feel like I need to make every single time, though, I hear the name Bobby Roode, is, can I get some beer money? I want beer money back. I love that tag team. Bring it back. Bring it back. I know, not on the same promotions, but
Okay.
Fun little fact about that. I did like how when NXT came to New Orleans, the entire Bobby Roode match was the entire crowd just yelling beer money throughout the whole thing. And he was like, I appreciate it, but I'm trying to beat this guy up and I'm bad. It's like, no, we want beer money. He's like, James is not even here, guys.
yeah. So before we get to the creme de la creme, we got one more to go. Captain Chuckles,
One more.
what you got for us? What's your number one theme?
My number one is Brock Lesnar. The next big thing. I love the boom boom ba-dum boom 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 ba-dum, but like that just gets me going. Like no matter what. I mean, I have absolutely loved Brock Lesnar. I've absolutely hated Brock Lesnar. And even when I hated Brock Lesnar, I loved his theme song and I loved hearing it every time it came on because I could just like picture just breaking through anything as soon as that like first like 4 beats is done. Like you could break through a brick wall, you could break through glass, you could break through a wooden table, you could break through granite. Like that's just what it like gives me. It's just like so powerful that's just like kick your ass, man. Get out of here.
Hey Chuck,
What?
what instrument did you play?
I played a number of different instruments, Mr. Eye in the Sky, voice in the sky, Mr. Christopher. But for all of you in lovely land to know, I am an almost 6-foot gentleman with a big beard, a bald head. I am roughly 300 pounds. Bring it. And I played the flute and the piccolo to start off with. Yes, the smallest instrument and a more female played instrument in non-professional arenas. But yeah, I did that.
Well, to join you in that boat, I, in high school, little outcast JC, played clarinet for like a year. So wow. I feel your pain in the woodwind section, how I got smart and played trumpet later. So
yeah, but I also do play. I also do play percussion. I play drums. I can play trumpet. I can play
Deflect.
Tuba.
Deflect.
I can play a number of different things.
Tuba. I play tuba so well. God, this big ass tuba.
Well, what's really funny? What's really funny is I played the flute and the piccolo, and Creamy Kramer over here, who's like all of 5'4".
Oh, tell me he played
on
the
a
tuba.
good day. Played the tuba.
Yeah.
Not only did I play the tuba, I also played the sousaphone, which is the really big one that you see in marching bands.
Oh shit.
Hell yeah, man.
Bigger than him, probably.
Yes. Legitimately.
I was visualizing that.
Absolutely, at that point, yeah.
It was 2 Creamy Kramers. That's how big it was.
God, all this talk about band having me PTSD flashbacks of high school and marching, and
oh man,
I'm so much cooler than that, guys.
When Mike put the sousaphone on, he became Mecha Kramer because he was 2 Kramers.
It's true. Yeah, JC, just so you're aware, I am a unit of measurement. So we base things on how big they are, or how small, rather, based off of how many Creamy Kramers it would take to fill something. So just so you're aware. So you can
also rate pay-per-views that way too.
Yeah.
So out of 10 Creamy Kramers, so the Brock Lesnar theme song, like out of 10 Creamy Kramers, how many Creamy Kramers would you give it? Yeah.
I'll give it a 10 Creamy Kramers.
And fun fact, just so you know, only 1 Creamy Kramer fits into a couch.
Good story.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another little fun tidbit. On trumpet, I know how to play Push It for like Salt and Pepper.
Oh,
So fun
nice.
to play. It's even funnier in high school when like your teacher is like really angry and she's like red in the face, and all of a sudden you hear in the background do 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 do, and she's like JC. I'm like, bro, I'm lightening the mood.
I'm practicing here. I'm practicing my notes.
Didn't even play the song for a band, but like, oh.
I was a trombonist in band. What did you play? Eye in the Sky. Did you play anything in band, or were you a non-band person?
I was percussion, and then I was trombone. And the only reason I played trombone is because it's very easy to copy first trombone when you're second trombone, because you just put the thing in the same position the person next to you.
Problem was I was first trombone, so I was doing that for all the people that were playing trombone with me.
Yeah, I was just copying you. I didn't learn how to read music ever. I just copied whatever the person next to me was doing.
You're a cheater.
Oh my gosh.
Or smarter.
Or smart, yeah.
We got a French horn in the chat. Somebody played French horn in the chat.
Woohoo!
Nice.
French horn.
French horn. Ooh.
I like the French horn.
And fun tidbit about Twitch, apparently command push it is a bad word and got blurred out in the commands for Twitch. So while you can play it on trumpet, you can't type it into
Well,
a Twitch
that's
chat.
because when you put it all together as push it looks like PU shit.
There you go.
That's why.
You have
Well,
a dirty
there we go.
mind.
I mean, I literally like have the chat up and I looked over and I said, why did he just say shit? And I'm like, oh, push it. Oh, never mind. So that gets us to the creme de la creme here. The song that four of us picked. The boss picked it. Creamy Kramer picked it. Christopher picked it. And I picked it as their number one ranked wrestling theme song of all time. And I want to emphasize, I do not like this wrestler at all. But Hulk Hogan has the most iconic, greatest theme song of all time. Can I get a hallelujah?
Hallelujah!
Hallelujah.
I'm interested to know what the people who didn't put it on their list think about it, though.
I mean, as a child who was at the altar of Hulkamania, I loved it, but it's iconic, dude. Like, you know who's coming out when like that hit, when those first notes are hit. He's a real American, damn it. Even though he wore red and yellow, which I don't understand why he was a real American and wore red and yellow, but it's a great song. It gets you jacked up, man.
I think it gets you jacked up. I think it gets you jacked up too as an American. Like as a wrestling watching American. Like when it gets to that chorus and I am a real American, I like feel it like extra hard. I'm like, yes, I'm a real American too. And I'm going to enjoy singing this song with the other real Americans. Just, you know, let's
you tear your shirt.
Let's not use that song for political gain at all, or else I'll stop liking it, though. So
yeah. I did not. I was a fan of Hulk Hogan when I was a little kid. I had the yellow Hulkamania shirt, you know, with the rips in the back and stuff. And at one point, I may or may not have, when I got a little bit older, ripped it in half to be just like Hulk Hogan. But it did not. It is iconic. I wholeheartedly agree. It is probably the most iconic of all wrestling themes, but it's not one of my favorites, and that's why it didn't make my list. If we were talking strictly three most iconic, I would have had it in there.
well, yeah, because it would have been
Steve
Austin, Hulk, and I don't know who number 3 would be.
Yeah.
Virgil. Maybe Virgil. Come on.
Definitely Virgil. Yeah, you got it.
But
All
what
over.
about all the different versions that we had of Real American? Because you had the original one.
Mhm.
Then you had the one that started out like really faintly in the back where like the vocal was like, I am a real American. And then like it started to like slowly go into the music after that. Like I literally think there was at least like 4 different like iterations of Real American that they've played through the years.
I like the OG version. The song as Rick Derringer recorded it,
Mhm.
I think is the most perfect version of the song. Even though they it was chopped up or started abruptly anyway. Like I almost think it would that song as it was recorded would almost have been more effective as Hogan's theme song because it could be like it could do the thing where it starts low and that gets the crowd pumped up. So by the time it's a bop 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 bop, like and he's coming out, like everybody's ready to see the Hulkster. Everybody's ready to eat at Pasta Mania. Yeah, brother. Let's go to Pasta Mania. Sorry, that sounded more like Macho Man, actually. Not good at differentiating.
Do you want to make your Pasta Mania pitch to Hulk Hogan, since we know he's watching? So you want to make your pitch to get the Pasta Mania menu?
Hulk Hogan, what I really want for you to do is I want like one of those old menus that was in the Mall of America that had the Pasta Mania, like pictures of the dishes and like the menu and stuff. Like I want those and I want to frame them and I want to put them on my wall. Help me do that. Help make that happen for me.
Make it happen, Hulk. Come on.
I'm sorry that I don't like you. I'm sorry. And I literally want nothing to do with you except for this Pasta Mania thing. I really it would be great. It would be the centerpiece of what is behind me.
You should send him an invite to a pasta dinner if he can bring you the menu.
Who's really good at cooking pasta? Are you good at cooking pasta, Chuck?
Yeah, I can cook with a
Okay.
pasta. I would
Hulk.
pay.
Listen, Hulk.
I would
Chuck.
pay to see that. Jimmy on one side of the table and Hulk Hogan on the other side of the table having pasta together.
In silence.
Yes, pretty much.
With Eric Bischoff in the middle.
Halfway through the meal, I just look over. You know the leg drop's bullshit, don't you?
Can you pass the Parmesan cheese?
Yeah. Please pass the parm.
But you realize, though, as you invite Hogan for this pasta dinner, it's not only Eric Bischoff, it's the Nasty Boys, it's Brutus the Barber Beefcake, and maybe somebody else who are all there for this pasta dinner.
It'd be a big pasta. I hope you're ready to make a lot of pasta, Chuckles.
I'm ready. I got the pans and the pots for the pasta.
Got the pans and the pots. What about the rest of you? The rest of you that chose this song. Let's hear it. Let's hear what you think.
Oh,
I mean, come on. There's nothing better than Real American. I challenge anyone out there to play Real American and not get goosebumps. Not somehow have the hair on your arm stand up because you know what's happening. You know what's
at my house, I could do it 10 times out of 10. In an arena, it would never happen.
Yeah.
It's impossible in an arena, but it's okay. It's also impossible watching on TV. If you're watching the match. Now, if you're playing the music by itself, okay, fine. But I challenge you to go back and watch when Hulk Hogan comes out to tag with Edge for the tag team titles on SmackDown, and that music hits, and the crowd goes crazy. And that was probably the latest they played that music where the pop was that strong still, that like the first time you ever heard it.
Yeah.
So I love that music. I am not a fan of the wrestler. I am a fan of the music. So the tidbit that JC brought up, because why is it yellow and red? I mean, great question, right? He's the Real American, yet he wears McDonald's colors. And
Dude, that's subtle marketing I did not put together.
And there it is.
Arguably communist colors.
So there's a couple of tidbits I found about that. He actually credits
Wikipedia.
Macho Man Randy Savage's father, Angelo Poffo, and he says that he saw him in those color combinations, and that was one of the reasons why he picked yellow trunks. And there actually is a throw to the marketing of McDonald's that he wears yellow and red because it popped on screen, and it was that just look on screen that popped off the screen rather than, I guess, white trunks, kind of like Thunder Lips, where he just wore white trunks, which was kind of flat. So
Everybody's so addicted to McDonald's that color combo just makes
Dude,
you go.
at that time,
Yeah.
in the 80s and 90s, yeah, heck yeah, McDonald's was the shit.
They ruled the world.
Yeah.
Just like Hulkamania.
So let's pivot a little bit now because
Pivot.
Because when you were a young child, or you don't have to be too young, but like when you were in your younger years and you're listening and to this intro music as you're watching wrestling, were there any songs that maybe you heard on the radio, or maybe it could even be a theme that a wrestler had that you like truly wanted as your theme music, like when you were a kid? Anybody could go. Nobody too fast though.
We're all like,
I was waiting because I was like, I'm usually stepping on everybody, so I'm like, I'm gonna lay it back. But I will. The champ of Elevate Pro will go. I'll go with my second pick for that. As a child, or as a teenager, I wanted Man in the Box by Alice in Chains. Now this is pre-knowing that ECW existed and Tommy Dreamer used it. But if Tommy ever wants to have a match about who gets the right to have Man in the Box, even if I'm not going to use it, I just want to take it away from him just so I can. That was the song, though.
Oh yeah, and I was, but again, I don't think that that's such a bad thing. Like, who cares if he used it? But that song is. When I was listening to it again, it's like, this is a great wrestling theme song. It
Definitely.
Really is. It really works. And there were definitely songs that I listened to that, as I went through the list, where it was like, maybe half of the songs work and half of them didn't, but that's just the way that I've trained myself of what is a wrestling theme song. Like it has a certain formula to it.
Yeah.
And I think Man in the Box definitely ticks that. And I will pivot off of your Man in the Box to one of mine, which is also an Alice in Chains song, which is the song Wood. And that song, I think it kind of has a feel similar to Live in Fear, the Bray Wyatt song, and that it takes it a while before it ever gets too crazy, but it has kind of like that brooding kind of like lower, like kind of feel to it, but enough of like the bass pushing it along that it feels like intro music.
It's definitely, Wood's definitely a song that, like a dark character would definitely, it would fit with one of those. But like Man in the Box, like you said, like first of all, the first few notes, if I can speak, it's still early for me. The first few notes are identifiable, and like it's badass. Like, who wouldn't be cool coming out to that?
I mean,
Virgil.
I mean, no, I think everybody. Eugene.
I don't know why I picked on Virgil today, though, but Virgil.
Let's have somebody else hit me up with a theme song. Chuck Kramer, Voice in the Sky.
Well, I'm sure none of you heard my theme song before.
I listened to it for the first time last night.
I'm sure.
Same.
I'm sure. I was a big, like 80s hair metal-ish guy. I mean, two of my favorite bands from the 80s are Def Leppard and Whitesnake, who are both still rocking strong now. I love it. But another random band who were pretty popular was White Lion. And I on a musical stance, I don't think they get a lot of the credit that they should for some of the players that they had in the band. But anyway, they had an 8-minute epic called Lights and Thunder, and it has nothing to do with the lyrics to it. And like when I was a kid, I would clip the beginning on like cassette tape, like record it, jump away from like the lyrics, and then jump to like the guitar solo towards the end. But there's just something about the beginning. It's like, it's just doom, doom, doom. It's like a heartbeat, and then it goes right into, you know, the guitar part in the back and everything. And then it's darkish to start. And then like as the rest of the band and the guitar starts to come in, it totally like goes from like almost like a dark theme song to like, oh, like this could be a good guy here, like after it. So it just like I talked about before, like the ride that you go on when you listen to music, like it starts you off at one point, and then like as the guitar ramps up, it brings you to a whole different spot. And I could picture myself like as a kid coming out at the beginning when it's like dark and brooding, or like waiting till that like ripping guitar part came in and like coming out there and like being like ultra energetic, like let's get it going, like almost like Ultimate Warrior type ish.
Yeah.
So
Some white meat baby face going on here.
yeah. So that is my theme song. And if you haven't listened to it and you're a fan of rock music, go check out White Lion, Lights and Thunder, from the album Main Attraction.
What's interesting is the way that Chuck described the ride you take on that song is exactly what I felt and I wrote down. So I had this great intro, and I could see the beginning part, this like really dark, ominous, you know, beast of a person coming out, and then later when the guitar hits, it's like a young Sting. You know, so you go from this dark, evil person to this poppy, vibrant, colored guy with makeup on, and it's definitely two different songs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what was your kid theme song like? As a kid, what was your intro, Creamy Kramer?
Mine would have been "Hell's Bells" by
I wake up to
AC/DC.
this song every morning.
Is
I kid you not.
Is Kramer singing it to you every morning?
Thankfully, no.
Yeah, no, that's never a good time when I'm singing. There's a reason why I only sing when I'm in an arena, because everybody else and the singer is singing over me. It's not a good time. But anyways, for me, Hell's Bells, it's probably AC/DC is one of my favorite bands of all time. They're my top 5. Seen them live a bunch of times, and it's probably one of the greatest live shows you'll ever see. But Hell's Bells, you get that the bell in the beginning, the gong, the dong, dong, and then it hits into the guitar.
Not a gong.
I just think,
Nothing.
no, it's the sound. I know it's not a gong. Shut up, piccolo player. You hear the bell. All right, Chuck, what's the right word for it? The bell chiming?
There you go. That's
bell
better
ringing.
than gong.
All right.
You can see that we all really like each other on this podcast.
We're actually really good friends with everybody except for Jimmy. Nobody likes Jimmy.
Jimmy's not my friend.
But yeah, you go from that bell sound, Chuck, to this really cool slow build guitar. And I mean, for me, that's it. You have the slow intro, that identifiable boom. Then the guitar, I just think that's a great entrance music and one of my favorite songs.
Oh, voice in the sky. What is your intro music?
I haven't decided if I want to just mess with everybody or actually, do the actual pick I had. But
You're messing with people later. Just do it. Do this one now.
Now I'm okay. All right. Make them wait for it.
No More Tears by Ozzy Osbourne. The opening to that song, there's just like, we've talked about slow builds, and how those like even a wrestler waiting behind the curtains for a while, right? And that's really what I feel when I feel this song. It's like getting pumped behind that curtain, and it's just getting ready. It's getting ready. It's getting ready, and you finally just come out when that dun 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 dun, and then just hits the curtain, and you can march out to that song. I always thought that would be a cool entrance song. That was actually the song I would play. Weird story. When I was working as a bar back in Savannah and the bar would close, I'd be back behind in the kitchen and I would pop through the door and they would play the music on the jukebox for me. And I would pop through the door as I would come out with my mop to mop the floor.
That's fantastic.
That
On so
is
many
tremendous.
levels.
So yeah, that was my entrance music onto the mopping floor when I was a bar back.
And it makes me sad that Sorry Charlie's is no more.
Yes, shout out to Sorry Charlie's.
How about shout out to, I gotta say shout out to the boss, who had one of the more interesting picks for what his kids' theme song. It's Don't Stop Me Now by Queen. And I was listening to this song thinking to myself, you know, I don't know if this song works, but I love it. I think it's very interesting as a wrestling theme song, especially if you just let it play like the beginning, like you let it just go really slow and you don't come out again. You know, it may not work on a big promotion, but as an independent wrestler, just sit in the back and wait, you know, just wait.
Oh, definitely on an indie show, like maybe a Fest Wrestling or something like that. That would definitely work. Yeah, just make the build.
Mm-hmm. So I really, really love that pick. Boss, very, very good pick. Very fun pick.
Can I drop my
but what
second
he's
pick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so this is the one I think, I know sparked this discussion for the day. My other pick, if I were to have interest music, and this was me in my 9-year-old child lens, was Criss Cross's Jump. Now, even here we go. I hear it. I'm into it now. Even as an adult, if you were to make in that lens, if you wanted to be like a throwback to a 90s kind of character, that would be a perfect song. It's energetic. You can use it as a babyface would definitely work because the crowd would just want to get into it. Like, who wouldn't?
You have to wear rip-off jeans backwards, though, as you walk to the ring.
Too. Right.
Yes.
So, I like the beat of it, too. Just, obviously, lyrics aside, because it's children. But, no, that was, as a child, thought that was, the coolest thing. As a, on the lowest level of, hip-hop and knowledge of rap music. That, to me, it's a fun song. And for an ironic indie show where everyone is in on the gag, that would be a tremendous entrance.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I think I might, you know what? I might have a character change for one show, or maybe for a promotion, and come out to that. Maybe. I don't know. We'll think about it.
I think that sounds like a spectacular idea.
Yeah.
So like you, I also had kind of an honorable mention second pick, and it was an awful song. This song, it's not an awful song, but it does not work as a wrestling intro. I'm aware for any of you who actually did the research and listened to it. But when I was a kid, one of the first albums I ever bought with money that I had earned from doing chores or something like that was Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses. And of all the songs I could have picked, I picked Night Train.
Love it.
And for me, the intro, I don't know that the intro really works, but when he starts singing, he's like, well, I'm a West Coast strutting. One bad mother got a rattlesnake suitcase under my arm. I'm like, how is that? That would be awesome as coming out to that, you know? I mean, it just sets the tone. I can kind of see the kick-ass, I'm just going to come out and beat the shit out of you kind of maybe Southern feeling wrestler that would come out to a theme like that. Yeah.
I was going to say, I totally see some dude from South Mississippi with a mullet. I'm just here, whoop ass,
Yeah.
I love God and country, and I'm gonna beat this terrorist's ass. Like that popped in my head. I was like, that would work.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but that's golly day, man. I love that song. Love that song.
It is a good song. The whole album's good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Appetite for Destruction. Listen to it today on some streaming site. Anyone really?
Spotify.
Right, YouTube. Yeah, you probably
Apple,
find all the songs on
iTunes,
YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
Spotify, sponsor me.
You know, wait till after this podcast, though. Okay.
Yeah, don't leave right now.
Don't leave. The champ's here.
Don't disrespect JC.
Don't I mean, I'm sure Brittany's not watching because why would she do anything to support the champion of Elevate Pro? But I'm here to have a good time, so I'm gonna relax. We're not gonna be angry this day. It's a good day. It's a good morning. I've had my highball. I'm here talking to you, gentlemen. Even though Jimmy is second on my list of people I dislike next to Brittany.
Oh no! Somebody in the chat just called me Jimmy Grimes. Don't compare me to Cameron Grimes.
Oh man,
Cameron Grimes.
Oh wow.
Love to hate that character. I don't have that much chest hair. Let's be honest.
Or head hair.
Yeah.
So let's throw it to the chat. We have a couple of interesting songs that they actually. Yes, the voice in the sky is here again. Points of Authority by Linkin
Oh my
Park.
God, that's such a great song.
It is
That's
a good
one
song.
that's brought up by the chat.
I like that one.
Domination by Pantera.
Oh, another great song.
All
Yeah,
about the Pantera.
I thought you were about to hate it because the look on your face and the tone of your voice was I'm gonna spit all over this one.
Hell no. I mean, to be honest, if I could have picked another song, it totally would have been fucking Hostile. Just because, I mean, to walk out to that song would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Yesterday Don't Mean Shit is another one that was brought up in the chat.
That's a good song.
Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses.
There you go.
Another one. Let's see. And then I think this is a question for JC. JC, how reasonable is it to be able to wear a backwards singlet while coming out to Jump?
I mean, considering those things are pretty snug, that might be a little. Might not want to do that, but
Okay. And I think we're all caught up on the chat.
It's an idea.
Thank you, chat.
it's an idea. It's
So
probably wouldn't recommend.
let's make this next part really rapid fire. So there are songs that exist that we've all thought about that should be wrestling themes that aren't. But before we all start going rapid fire, I think it's important that I spotlight somebody's list and have him say all of the songs that he said, and that would be the Voice in the Sky. Voice in the Sky. Can you tell us the songs that you put on your list that you thought should be wrestling theme songs?
Okay, and I'm going to go backwards on my list because I think
you're going to go backwards?
He's gonna go backwards.
Backwards.
Because
No, I mean
there's a
from
theme
bottom
to
to
it.
top. No, from bottom to top. That's all.
I know, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So I'm gonna preface this with I've been watching a lot of independent wrestling, a lot, and I love it. I love independent wrestling. I love what they're doing. I love the vibe that independent wrestling puts in an arena in a venue, and I think a lot of that's important with the music they play when they come in. And I love heels. Heels are great. I mean, who doesn't love a good heel?
Sure.
So
6-inch
I'm gonna
pump,
go with my third. Oh boy, my third song would be "Build Me Up, Buttercup" by The Foundations.
Terrible.
Because I just think that would troll the crowd so great, and it'd be so ridiculous coming into that song.
It's so bad, though, it's not even a troll.
I can see Chris. If you ever want to be an independent wrestler, I'm pretty sure I could hook you up with a marching band that would walk you out to that song as you
And
enter the
how
ring.
badass would it be for the ultimate heel to come out to a marching band playing "Build Me Up, Buttercup"?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Any thoughts? Yeah, please. Please, any thoughts?
I mean, yeah,
Awful.
I was surprised. I'm gonna say, like, of all the things of a list, like everyone's picked like metal or rap sort of thing, and I hear that on the list, and I'm just like, that's
I
gonna be
legit
a
thought he
reaction
was
for
trolling.
sure.
Wait, did you have the same reaction that I had when I listened to it, where you're like, well, I already know this song, but I'm just gonna go ahead and listen to it again, and I'm listening to it and I'm like, yeah, no, this doesn't work at all. This doesn't work in any way possible. Not even like in a funny, ironic type of way.
I've never even heard the song until I heard it yesterday. I'm sorry. I know.
Whoa,
I know,
whoa.
look at your face.
Wait, have you never seen There's Something About Mary? With Ben Stiller
if I have, I don't remember. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
Sorry. But
he's too busy kicking asses, man. He doesn't have time
yeah.
to.
no,
I
I'm
agree.
dismantling Elevate Pro. I'm just all over the place, man. So much to do, so little time. Something About Mary. Like, when did that come out?
90?
A while ago.
I fucking rest my case.
Oh man. Okay, continue on, Christopher.
Number 2 on my should be theme list going backwards is Blue Suede, Hooked on a Feeling. I mean, is there much else to say? I mean,
there's plenty to say. It doesn't work. You'd have to chop first of all, you'd have to cut the song up so much. And second of all, there's something, and this is just a hot take, and I don't know why, but
You're full of them.
There's something annoying to me about some of these songs that got popular more recently when they were on Guardians of the Galaxy, and like all of a sudden you're starting to hear people play them all the time. It's like, this song's been around for like years and years and years, right? But as a wrestling song, it's like it's close. Like it starts up and like ooga chaka, ooga 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 chaka, like, and I'm like, that could work, but then the beginning of it, like, it just keeps going. Why are you singing? Why are you singing right now?
Why are you always singing?
Yeah. Everybody can sing.
Because I have the hall pass to sing anytime I want to. It's my show. Monkeying around.
But I do feel like there is somebody there would be some douche who would use that and be like, oh, wrestling is fun, it's for everyone. Like, somebody would use that in the most ironical of ways, and everyone would somehow love it because of that.
I would love it.
Knowing the group think how that works, there would be that guy who would do it.
Mm-hmm.
And his name is fucking Virgil.
Always comes back to Virgil.
All right. Well, let's get to the top of the list. The top of the list, and I think you will actually love this one, everyone. Right said Fred, I'm too sexy.
Absolutely works, 100%.
I'm on
But
board.
as chat, you are correct. It's a fucking troll list. Even
Yes.
it's a troll.
Yes.
So yes, you have been trolled. And by the way, I saw this troll list and I thought, I didn't think to put a troll song in, but I tried to come up with like a good song that trolls too. So we'll talk about this and then I'll drop mine out for you. What my troll intro song.
It's so funny. Like, you say it's a troll list, and it is, but I'm sitting here thinking, okay, as the wrestler in me is like, there's some way I could probably make this work. There's the character for this somehow.
Yep. And that's the trick, right, JC? It's like,
Yeah.
don't be like everybody else. Be something different. Be something new. And honestly, as much as I'm trolling everyone with this list, I would love to see a wrestler try and use any one of these three.
I would love to see Christopher try to use this as a wrestling theme. Why don't you hop in the ring and use one of them as your intros?
There you go.
Do it.
Well, if I ever hop in the ring, I promise you I will use I'm Too Sexy by Right Said
No,
Fred.
no. You're going to use Build Me Up Buttercup.
Whatever. I'm hopping in the ring, so until you get your fat ass in the ring, I'm one step ahead of you.
Oh, man.
Whoa.
And
I think I've triggered Christopher, who was trying to trigger us, by the way.
I know, right?
I've gotten the better of him.
And if you watched the Twitch stream last week or you watched the podcast, there was a GIF that was created called the Chuckle Shuffle, never to be replicated or duplicated ever again, but it is out there. And
You gotta give the people what they want, man.
maybe we'll throw it up on, I don't know. Has anybody thrown it up on Twitter? No, we just did it in our chat.
I did it as a response on Twitter. Yes.
Okay. So it's
Yeah.
out there.
So
But,
it's on. I think it's on something that JC's on. I had responded to something.
Oh yeah, maybe. But I took the GIF that Jimmy created, and I added some music to it to make a very short 5-second video of the new dance hit of a 1.5 times sped up "I'm Too Sexy" to me doing the chuckle shuffle.
That would be the entrance dance too for that.
There you go. See, and if we had a Patreon, people could pay to see me do stupid shit.
Oh, you should set it up. That should be the reward. I'm setting. The champ decrees it.
Oh,
$1 monthly, you get to watch Chuck dance.
So,
That's
so,
worth it.
so when I was going through music and I was like, okay, I can find something that is a little trolly but maybe still works. And what I came up with was Rome by the B-52s. And I don't know if you guys can remember the song off the top of your heads, but like it just like at the very beginning, it's like really silent and like I hear a wind, and it just like goes until it builds to the boom, 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 boom. And I think that would work spectacularly actually as a wrestling theme song. I implore you, if you can't think of it off the top of your head, to listen to it after the podcast and then get back to me and tell me what you think.
Gosh. Oh, you know what? Actually, I thought it was something, not really a troll. I guess it could be a troll song. But how funny would it be if you had like the most masculine, like I'm a beefy badass, but they come out to Fantasy by Mariah Carey?
Oh.
But they have all the mannerisms of like a tough guy. Like, yeah.
Like, I like this music.
Oh, like, it would be hysterical.
I mean, it's a good argument, and I guess the problem though is me telling you that that's a good argument. I have to kind of bend the knee to the voice in the sky and say that you can then make anything a theme song for anything. Really?
Yeah.
If you work
Truth.
hard enough.
Our truth. So let's go. So now that we've got a little bit more open forum here, we can throw out a few songs. So like The Boss, he put Down with the Sickness by Disturbed. Makes sense to me. Again, I think that follows normal like wrestling strong song structure, and I think that's what a lot of us did with some of these. I wanted to point out one of your songs though, JC.
Okay.
I wanted to point out, because I was listening to them, and the one that I listened to that I was just like, I am digging the shit out of this song for a wrestling theme, was Rebel Girl by Bikini Kill. That song was great.
It is. It's a great song. And like I have this in my head. Like I would like a prominent female grungy alternative rock, punk rock chick, like to be like have that as her theme. Counterculture, everything that like is what a female wrestler is, like the whole stereotypical sexy model type deal. And that would be a badass song for like somebody like that to use.
Definitely agree.
And I love Bikini Kill. Like Bikini Kill is a great band.
Yeah, I really found that in these later years of my life that I really started to dig chick rock. Like there was something about like that kind of genre of like, female led vocal, kind of like dirty, like punk rock. It sounds
the Riot Girl scene is phenomenal. Like, but yeah, like I was thinking about that. I was like, this would be a perfect theme for that kind of character. And like, hopefully maybe someone comes along like that and has like a big influence. And like, maybe it's not like good, fair to put them in that shoe, but I would like to see a female version of a CM Punk type of archetype or character.
Sure. To
have like a big influence and positive spin and use that. Like,
yeah, I agree. I think of all the songs that people listed, I think that was the one that I didn't really know that, but really like hit home the most for me. I was like, wow, this song is great.
Yeah. And I like going out of the box. Like for me, especially when I was choosing my theme song, like it's like, all right, what's something that's like different from everybody else? And for me, that kind of fits in that box.
I didn't think too far out of the box at all.
Neither did I.
Yeah. Me and Kramer have a song in common that we picked for what isn't a theme song but should be a theme song. And I will die on this hill that this is the best song that was literally made for pro wrestling and is not being used for pro wrestling. And that is Destroy Everything by Hatebreed.
Yeah. It would have been on my list too, but I knew one of you or both of you were going to pick it.
You should have put it on your list just so there was like literally when three of us are saying it, I think it means like, listen, the breakdown of this song, what makes it so good is you've got the initial chord, and that chord is the cue to the crowd. Like, I know who this is. Yeah. I'm going to lose my mind. And then it gets into the bass drum, which is kind of like the build, like, oh, I'm walking out, and everybody's reacting then to me walking out. Everybody's already, getting psyched up. And so by the time you get to the point where they're saying destroy everything, the crowd is like ready to sing it with the wrestler. And not to mention, destroy everything is just a good thematic. It's just good thematically for some wrestler that's going to go out there and, kick somebody's ass. Unless, it's like, somebody that's dressed up in like a suit and tie and is looking kind of nerdy or something, and we're trying to go ironic with it.
Even then, they destroy everything.
I don't know. What did you guys? I mean, I know. Obviously, I know that Kramer knows the song really well, and Chuck knows the song really well. But did you listen to this song, JC? What did you think about it?
I did. It's not in my wheelhouse of normal stuff I listen to, but like thematically, I could see it as a wrestler's theme song, and the crowd being like into it, be like, oh yeah, this guy's here.
I suddenly feel bad for you. Because if that's not in your wheelhouse thematically, then me and Chuck lived far away from your theme. Because it was just tons of metal music.
I appreciate it. Like, there's certain things I don't listen to in my normal everyday day to day.
Me, every day I wake up and if it's not Hell's Bells, it's destroy everything. And I come out of bed, I start punching walls and throwing shit around the room. And
is that what the 1,000-yard stare was from earlier?
Yeah, I'm just ready to take on the day at that point. I'm chopping wood in half with my bare hand. Like, forget about it. I'm just ready to go.
Oh, that's awesome, Chuck.
But one of my songs was also a Hatebreed song. Shout out to Hatebreed and Jamie, and there you go. Kramer's got the shirt on, and everybody else. But I went with I Will Be Heard, just because I like how the beginning starts of like now is the time, and it's got the same thing that it has that crowd interaction part in it as well. With the lyrics and everything, so it definitely has that like rocking beginning, not as strong as Destroy Everything, but it just has that like, let's go, like we're gonna do this, someone's getting their ass kicked, I'm coming to the ring, like you better watch the fuck out.
I feel like it'd be like a deathmatch wrestler's theme for me, at least.
Yeah
I
could go with that.
It'd have to be metal, right?
Yeah.
I feel like my list of songs was just like, let's take some of the biggest metal bands of all time, and I'm just going to put literally my favorite song by every single one of them, because that's literally what happened. I have an Iron Maiden song, a Megadeth song, and a Metallica song. My favorite Metallica song is Ride the Lightning. That's the song I chose. My favorite Megadeth song is Holy Wars, The Punishment Due. That's the song I chose. My favorite Iron Maiden song by a long shot is Flash of the Blade. That's the song I chose.
I think I probably went a little too thematic and like, okay, what character would use this, or like, oh, this would be good for this type of person. Like one of my songs. I'm out of it.
Still early.
Yeah, dude, you got me like up early, and I was just like, am I gonna be able to do this? Like, fuck. I'll say this real quick, then I'll get to my pick. Yesterday I woke up early, and I was like, all right, it's like 6:45ish. All right, it's a little too early for me because on weekends I sleep until about 10:30 at the latest. And I woke up early and I fell back asleep, and for some reason I had it in my mind that it was Saturday, and I thought I overslept and missed the podcast, and I'm like, oh my god, oh shit, I embarrassed myself and I pissed these people off. Fuck, get the phone. I'm like, oh wait, it's Friday. I can rest easy now, and I'm gonna go back to sleep. Because I woke up from a dead heat going, oh my god, I missed it. But back on topic though. A song that like I'm surprised no one has used. Maybe someone has, and I just haven't heard it because there's a lot of wrestling out there.
Sure.
Well, it's fair to say. But Seven Dust is Black.
Great song.
It is a fantastic song. Like one of my favorite bands of all time. Their live show is incredible. Like,
agreed.
That opening guitar distortion, like, dude, that would be, if anything says it's time to kick ass, that's the song.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, didn't they play when all of us went to Carolina Rebellion that year? Wasn't Seven Dust playing there? And I recall, I could be wrong about that, but I think that they were playing, and I think they were on stage, and I was like sitting there watching them, and I'd never been a really big Seven Dust fan, and thinking, oh my god, they are fucking amazing live. Like, they were great. I think that was Seven Dust.
Like,
we have a Wikipedia train. Somebody check in Carolina Rebellion however many years ago.
2018 they did play Carolina Rebellion.
That had to be it then.
So you're right.
Do you see on the list there was oh god, what's that band that me and Kramer watched that was amazing?
Power Trip.
Power Trip. Yeah. Was Power Trip on that same year? Because if they were, then that was definitely it.
They were.
I missed Power Trip.
Poor Chuckles. He had like
not me. Poor Christopher. I didn't even know that they were going on. Chris had to leave watching Power Trip to go.
Yeah, because it was because somebody's got to get Chuck, and me and Kramer were like, "Fuck you, we're not leaving. We're watching Power Trip."
Oh yeah.
But no, that song, like, oh, somebody needs to. I may just fucking use it one day.
Do it.
There's a couple of Seven Dust songs that's actually, it wasn't on my list, and they did a cover of Inner City Blues from Marvin Gaye.
The Marvin Gaye song?
Yeah. I was surprised
have never heard that.
Dude, their version of that is like phenomenal, and I'm like, for me, I was like, that would be an amazing song to come out to too. But it's on my list.
After this is over, I'm going to have to listen to that song because I love the song Inner City Blues by Marvin Gaye for sure. Yeah. So I would imagine I would, I would be intrigued. I don't know if I'll like it. Who knows? I don't want to speak too soon. Sometimes you hear covers and you go, why did somebody cover this song? Yeah. And all those covers are done by Five Finger Death Punch. Five Finger Death Punch, you suck! Okay.
Damn. You know what? I've been throwing out challenges for my Uprising Championship. I will challenge all of Five Finger Death Punch to a match for the Uprising.
Chris Kale.
But actually, since I said that, I was told I have to apologize on behalf of Elevate for those. So I will have to recant, maybe, possibly. I don't know. But anyway.
Oh, man.
What else do we have here from songs? He had a couple other ones. You had "Why Go" by Pearl Jam. I was listening to that song with Sarah last night online, and I was like, oh my god, 10. I was like, this album lived in one of my cars for 5 years. It never left the CD player. I love that album so
What was
much.
that, 95, 96-ish when it came out? Maybe 94? I mean, that was all anybody ever talked about was Pearl Jam and 10. I know when I was in high school, it was like over the edge. Everybody, Pearl Jam, over the edge. Everybody, Jeremy. Like, it was ridiculous.
If anything, I look at these lists and I say to myself, you know, maybe the truth of the matter is that all of us did this wrong except for JC Vega and Chris. Maybe that's the truth. Maybe we just all did it wrong. Because we've got all these, you know, I'm looking through the list. You've got, you know, Nightmare by Avenged Sevenfold. You put that on yours, Creamy K. Like, I mean, that kind of fits in with a lot of songs that, you know, like me and Chuck did, you know, where it's kind of one note. But I want you to say your other song, because your other song was the one that I really enjoyed.
It was Just Another Victim by
Love
Helmet and House of Pain off the Judgment Night soundtrack.
Love it.
First off, that soundtrack is probably one of
Amazing.
the best soundtracks out there. But that song, I remember, I'm pretty certain that was the first song that I heard off that, excuse me, off that album. And I'm like, damn, this is good. Yeah. I mean, you can't just not just start headbanging when you hear it. You know?
Yeah.
Helmet has some cool music. You know what I also thought
They
of
do.
when I saw that you had Helmet as an artist, I was like, man, what about Biscuits for Smut? I'm like, that song would be a really cool, like, it's got kind of a cool intro to it, you know. It's you know, I'm sorry, I'm chucking there, you know.
You know.
You're welcome.
Hey, you're welcome. I also thought of another one last night when I was listening to music, and I was like, this may be like, if we were to do a wrestling match right now and I was to come out to a song right now, it would be So Fresh, So Clean by Outkast.
Oh, man.
That song definitely works.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, especially at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, it definitely works.
Dude, you know, God, you're making me give more ideas, because like me and a buddy of mine want to tag team together, and I think I might try to pitch that as our song now.
Go for it.
There you go.
So,
I will take all the credit, by the way, if that actually happens.
and I'll give you none of
My
it.
idea. That's fine. Like, you dirty single stuffer.
You got it from Jimmy. Jimmy who? Jimmy Page? Jimmy Van Zandt? Like who? Jimmy who? Jimmy Hart? I don't know Jimmy Hart.
Big baby Jimmy.
Oh, man.
Jimi Hendrix is back from the dead? I mean, I would hang out with him.
We got some more songs in chat. What do they have in chat? Voice in the Sky. Any good ones?
Let's see.
I love that we
So-
refer to Christopher as Voice in the Sky.
Voice.
I love it.
Oh, great Voice in the Sky.
Not like producer or
No.
anything like that.
No. Don't give him too much respect. Although I guess Voice in the Sky is pretty respectful.
Yeah.
Disembodied head.
Aesthetics of Hate.
Oh my God.
Was brought
Who
up by
is that?
Total
Who is this person throwing
Total
out all these
Anarchy.
metal hits?
Total Anarchy. Total Anarchy coming strong today.
Freaking love it.
That's a good one.
Let's see. Superheroes by Daft Punk.
Okay.
I'm game. Love me some
let's-
Daft
All
Punk.
right. Yeah, I like Daft Punk.
You know what? You know what? Daft Punk, thinking about it, very tricky group to get a wrestling hit from.
Yeah.
But I'm down for that song.
Clouds
I mean-
Over California by
Oh,
Devil
dude.
Driver.
Again,
That's another Total Anarchy. Yep. And Lupe Fiasco, Around My Way.
no idea.
As a Lupe Fiasco fan, I would definitely appreciate if someone came out to that song. Not what I would think of off the top as a wrestler fan, but as for different and variety. It's upbeat too, so like that would work.
That's sax.
Apparently, it's got some hot sax in it. So
Yeah.
It does. It does have some hot sax in it.
Now, I messaged one in the chat to Chuck. I don't know if he was able to pull it up, but Chuck, were you able to get that Bang Camaro?
Oh no,
Pleasure.
Hold
Oh,
on.
nice.
So what was that? Rock Band or
Rock band.
That was Rock Band.
I've never heard that song before in my life until I played Rock Band. But Bang Camaro, Pleasure was my jam.
Dude, Bang Camaro's got some good ones.
And that was a cool one that I would be interested if we could turn into a theme coming out for an entrance.
What did you want?
Pleasure.
Here? Oh, there it is. Sorry.
Watch. So yeah, just another one that's got a great riff, and I could just see like somebody strutting out to it.
So did you listen? This is a question for the voice in the sky. Did you listen to all of Night Flight Orchestra and you just couldn't find one?
I just wanted to save the Night Flight Orchestra as just jamming out good music. I don't know, like I could probably pick a song or two as entrance music for them. Moments of Thunder would probably be my number one pick of a Night Flight Orchestra song that would be good entrance music.
So does Total Anarchy know about Night Flight Orchestra?
Well, he does now.
If you don't know, now you know. And not a particular song, but like as an artist, for me at least, like Jack White has a lot of songs that like I listen to and like that would be a good entrance song. Aside from Icky Thump, because I feel like I've heard a lot of indie guys use Icky Thump as a entrance music.
That makes sense because you said Jack White. The first thing I thought was,
yeah,
I guess Icky Thump would work.
Icky Thump, like I feel that's a go-to in Seven Nation Army, but like there's a couple of other ones that I've listened to that I'm like, I get bored pretty like quickly with songs, but like the one I have now is tremendous. I don't think I'm gonna change that for a while. But if I go other places, I think I might use some different ones. And Jack White has like a whole catalog of like great entrance wrestling themes. For me, at least.
I am not an angry flute player. Just so the chat knows.
Listen, if he tells you he's not angry, just understand the guy can get angry sometimes.
Can
18-year-old kids beware.
But
I don't know.
Good times.
One that I really would like, and like it was on my list, that for a big fight feel match, like I could see this being played for somebody at a WrestleMania or an All Out, is that Wolf Totem song by the Who. I think it's how you pronounce the name. It's like Mandarin, but like.
Oh yeah.
So, on the Spotify list that was made, it had the Papa Roach singer in it, which I didn't know that version existed until then. But like, it's still the same.
Hey,
but,
look at
like,
that.
But yeah, with like the primal like sound of the lyrics, and like when I actually looked up the lyrics to the song, I don't have them offhand. I wish I had my like notes that I said I was gonna do with those lyrics. But like it just sounds like a badass, like this is a big fight for a title feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I had never heard of it, and I was like, "What the heck is this?"
When I was listening to it, it was like that mix of strings and throat singing. It made me like, oh yeah, this is a bad fucking dude that's coming out like to do war.
Right, I stumbled upon this on Twitter, and like it was like Mongolian like chant metal like deal. I'm like, I watched the video, and like I was like, dude, this is badass. Like the instrumentation's badass. The lyrics are fucking fierce. It's like talking about mauling a tiger and like stuff. Or like leopards, and like we run this place, and I'm like, dude, yes, holy shit, somebody's coming out here and beating somebody's ass to this. Triple H will come out to it next month.
It'll be the theme for NXT TakeOver.
There you go.
I'll take all royalty checks there, Hunter. If you're watching, right? Which you probably are, yeah.
At least he actually picks good music for like.
Yeah,
the NXT shows.
Yes,
like all there hadn't been a WWE show that I had liked, like a main pay-per-view that they did that I had liked the theme music for until the last WrestleMania. which I
Yeah,
believe is Blinding Lights by The Weeknd, which I was like, oh, I was like, I'm all for this song.
I don't think WWE has picked a good theme song for a show since like 05.
Well, NXT has though. I think
Yeah,
NXT
well,
has.
yes. Well, if we're talking NXT, but like away from the NXT umbrella, like for me, like it's just, I think from like 99 to like 2003 maybe was like the run where they had like excellent choices for theme songs for their events, but yeah, NXT's had some good ones.
He just did something that's weird, and we all do it. And why is it that all wrestling fans like we can be so accepting of the fact that like main card WWE in particular sucks? Like if a WWE fan went to another WWE fan, Raw sucks, you'd be like, yeah, I know. They're always so protective of NXT. They're like, no, it doesn't even have a it's not even WWE. Like, don't talk about it like it's WWE.
It's its own entity.
It's its own entity. It's too good. It's too good to be under that other crap.
To tread lightly, they do a lot of things well. Like
Yeah.
it's hard to argue.
things.
Like Hunter's track record running NXT is very solid.
Yeah, and they just keep. I mean, I think it's some of the more compelling.
Uh-oh.
I hate Christopher.
Oh, there was just a note in the chat about Jimmy's opinion is his opinion and does not reflect the opinions of all the Bald Monkeys podcast members or JC Vega at all.
Exactly. Even when we agree, we don't agree. It checks out.
Well, just another Bald Monkeys podcast and having everybody, crap all over me. I'm good with it though.
You fucking hipster. There's two people I hate in this world. It's Brittany and it's Jimmy. Put me in the ring against them.
Well, you started the fight, so when I start throwing negative tweets at you, I hope you're game to throw them back.
Sir, you were not ready for what.
Yeah, I don't know if you're ready for that, Jimmy.
Oh, man.
Listen, if I'm pulling Gothic Cher Horowitz out from like the ether, and people are like, "Are you throwing a clueless reference on a fucking wrestling show?"
I loved actually he was trying to challenge Melissa Joan Hart the other day, and he could have easily thrown out like a character like Sabrina, but I appreciated that you threw out Clarissa. To which I had to flex I am also old and know some of this stuff and say, what would you think about challenging Ferguson? Which, for those of you that don't know, Clarissa Explains It All is actually Clarissa's brother.
Yeah. I'll even go, a deeper cut. I'll even challenge Roger from Sister Sister.
Oh my.
Marcus Houston, where are you at? Come face me for the Uprising Championship. If I had the belt present, I would display it right now. I'm challenging everybody.
Everyone.
Anybody can get a title shot. Captain Chuckles, Jimmy, Creamy Kramer, whoever. The floating voice in the sky. Anybody can come get it.
The voice in the sky is just a voice. I don't think you can just wrestle a voice, right?
No.
He can say nasty.
He's not even saying anything.
Who are you to doubt the champ?
I mean, I doubt anybody that believes that double stuffed Oreo is better than single stuffed Oreo.
Can we just mute him? Like, we need to have like an automatic mute for whenever Jimmy brings up Oreos. It just stops his feed.
Well, we're going to keep going, but let me wrap up the podcast portion of this and stop recording it on my side. So thank you all for joining us that are listening to the podcast on YouTube. We appreciate you joining in on the banter. I would like to throw out a couple things. I will be throwing a poll out on Twitter with a handful of pay-per-views as to what is going to be the next pay-per-view that we talk about on the next Monkeying Around. And I'll probably maybe get a few ideas from JC Vega on that too. They'll definitely have little selection option there from something that he has suggested to us. In regards to last week, we talked about me, Big Baby Jimmy, doing a little taco eating challenge to see how well I could do it. I am going to do that today. So I will give everybody an update on the next podcast on how I did. And other than that, I would like to thank you, JC Vega, for being here with us to talk about theme songs. And I would like to thank, obviously, Chuckles, Creamy Kramer, and I don't like Christopher, so he gets no thanks at all.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Christopher.
Voice
thank you,
in the
thank
sky.
you, Voice in the Sky. I'm gonna tweet out my list of what should be theme songs a little bit later today. They're a little bit out of the box. Some bands that not many people have probably heard of before, unless you're really into some metal and stuff like that. But
well, we can still talk about that. But you know, this podcast has reached like humongo proportions from my recording standpoint.
Hey,
so
but at least I didn't blip out 7 times. I was here all but once.
Yeah, you just blipped out the once, and after I'd started recording, and so I still have to edit shit, Chuck.
I always try.
JC Vega was still here. Brittany did not interrupt. Elevate Pro did not interrupt me this time. I'm glad you guys brought me here. I hope to come back anytime you guys want me here.
So again, not sure how long everybody's staying around, but the stream isn't over, but the podcast is. So join us next week for
some pay-per-view.
Some pay-per-view that we haven't determined.
And we find out that Jimmy did not eat 12 tacos in 5 minutes also.
But I will have eaten more than 8.
Possibly.
Why are you not recording it?
I don't think that would be very attractive or good for myself.
I don't know. Well, for those of you
single guy.
To do it.
For those of you that are watching the Twitch stream right now, if you like wrestling and you haven't already, go check out Sledge805. That's his Twitch handle. He on Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern, you figure it out if you live in the middle of those 2 time zones, is having a 12-pack challenge, a rematch against Alex the Sauce Zane, who was an alum of our podcast early on. So check that out tomorrow on Twitch. It is going to be very interesting. I'm excited to see what Alex brings this time because he got destroyed the first time.
Yeah. Okay, so before I hit the stop record button on this podcast, JC Vega, push your stuff.
Thank you.
Push.
You can follow me at TheeJC Vega on Twitter, TheeJC Vega on Facebook. Come see me rant about Elevate Pro, rant about all the things going on, the slights against me as their champion. They call me I am the Uprising champion, but I am the champion of Elevate Pro. So I do some movie picks too on Fridays, Vega Movie Fridays. So if you want movie reviews or
there's something about Mary.
That may be on my list eventually, but
see?
That's where you go.
Well, thank you for joining us, JC, and we appreciate you stopping by, and thank you everybody for watching the podcast. We'll see you next week.
Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at The Bald Monkeys. You can also catch our interviews on WrestleJoy.com. Watch any of our other interviews or our roundtable podcasts at YouTube. Just search for The Bald Monkeys. And listen to The Bald Monkeys podcast on Apple iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast from.